good evening, and welcome to this live coverage. We are again here at the Roberts International Airport, where some officials of government, members of the Joint Security, some staff of the Roberts International Airport, members of the Fourth Estate are all here standing in wait of the flight upon which His Excellency President Joseph Boakai is returning home on. So just a quick backdrop. His Excellency was in Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, where he formed part of the inauguration ceremony of his colleague, Honorable, that's His Excellency Al-Hassan Ouattara, and as we all know, as has been in the news over time, His Excellency President President Al-Hassan Ouattara was elected. He won his re-election on October 31st with about 89% of the votes in Ivory Coast, what one would consider a popular mandate from his people there. So the sound you hear, the sound that's intensifying, is the aircraft now landing. But His Excellency was a part of the ceremony alongside other heads of state and other diplomats. Some heads of states were from countries, member states of the Economic Community of West African States, and others were from other parts of Africa. His Excellency was joined by His Excellency President Adama Barrow of the Gambia, also His Excellency President Mada Bio of Sierra Leone, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana, as well as some former heads of state such as Mahamadou Assoufou of Niger, and international representatives including Yair Brown-Pivier, who is the Speaker of the French National Assembly, and Jacob Helberg, the U.S. Undersecretary of State for Economic Affairs, also graced that occasion. So President Boakai's presence reaffirms our strong commitment to ECOWAS solidarity. That's our country's strong commitment to ECOWAS solidarity, regional stability, and continuing cooperation with Cote d'Ivoire in areas including security. We're sorry for that breaking transmission, but as I said earlier, President Boakai's presence was, a reaffirmation of Liberia's commitment to, community development. As a member of the Economic Community of West African States, our country stands tall, in this regard, showing solidarity whenever there are programs, whenever there are projects within the community, our president or his representatives usually show up, to show our support, show that we are with our brothers and sisters. So as you are seeing right now, His Excellency the President is the flight that's bringing him is moving toward the walkway that has been set up here by protocol, and he is expected to deplane along with senior government officials who form part of this delegation to the Ivory Coast. Apologize for the loud noise, but this is how it is. This is what we hear. That's just the flight being operated. That's the engine working. As you may be aware, as we have reported, His Excellency left Liberia on yesterday to form part of this important ceremony. He joined other heads of state, other dignitaries, other members of the diplomatic corps, who all form part of that program. That is ambassadors and other representatives of international institutions who are serving in Abidjan, Ivory Coast, and other parts of Ivory Coast. They all form part of the institution. Honorable Samuel here is walking toward the aircraft along with Honorable Kennedy there, who is the Chief of Protocol Executive Mansion. Is the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. So the stairs have been lowered, and the Chief of Protocol Executive Mansion, Mr. M.F. Kennedy, has boarded the flight. This is usually the protocol here, where the Chief of Protocol goes in, and after he comes out, His Excellency and members of the delegation come as well. So we now see that the pilots and the flight attendants have deplaned. Now comes His Excellency President Boakai. exchanging handshakes with the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs and other officials of government who are here to receive him. He now moves towards the executive lounge.
Inauguration ceremony of President elect.
So His Excellency moves toward the a private area within the presidential lounge here at the Roberts International Airport, where he's expected to receive briefings, and after which he will depart for home. So folks, stay with us. We intend to bring our colleague who provided coverage and commentary there in Abidjan to bring us up to speed with what happened, what he experienced, how, what he saw, and everything else. As I promised, we now have our colleague, Mr. Vani Chiakekamara, who is in Abidjan, and he has a better description, a better understanding of what went down in Abidjan. So Vani, can you give us an idea? Can you give us a feel of what happened in Abidjan?
Of course, again, thank you for bringing me in with almost good evening to you all. Wherever you're following, if you're following from home or abroad, my name is Vani Kamara, and my His Excellency in Cote d'Ivoire, where he attended the inauguration ceremony of the Ivorian President, His Excellency Alassane Ouattara, and also as part of that program we had other African leaders. We had the President of Sierra Leone, President Boakai. We have the President of Ghana, President Mahama. We have the President of Senegal. We have the President of Congo Brazzaville. We also have the President of DRC Congo. We have several other vice presidents. We have the President of Gambia. We have several other vice presidents, international guests who were present at the inauguration ceremony. It was quite a short event, relatively. And about an hour, the official event started somewhere around 11 o'clock and ended around 12. There was a dinner hosted in honor of the presidents that were there. But what's spectacular about the event is the way it was organized. I mean, you have presidents coming in. They all were pulled in a van, in a bus, and it was quite spectacular because it was organized in such a way that the event took place in exactly an hour. And His Excellency arrived there yesterday, slept at night, and this morning we went to the event. After that, he had a brief discussion with the Liberian community while on his way to the airport. But also last night, Liberians in the Ivory Coast in Cote d'Ivoire were present at the airport to welcome His Excellency, and some were there also to appreciate him for the work he's been doing over the past 2 years. And so the President's presence in Ivory Coast was a show of support to our regional body, a show of support to Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast is one of our closest borders. We share borders with Ivory Coast, our closest neighbors, as I said. And it's a way of supporting that country, and also a way of showing the diplomatic ties between Liberia and Ivory Coast. And I think it was a good thing that His Excellency was there with a very small delegation. Very small delegation. We had one of the Babo, the General of Cabinet. We also had Zoe Mama Pana, Representative Mema Briggs was also there. And basically, Honorable Woods was also part of the delegation. President of the event. So we want to see again, it was a great time there. The President had a tete-a-tete with His Excellency President Ouattara, and again reaffirm his support to that country and bilateral relationship that both countries share. So we're back, and we flew yesterday and we're back in the country. I want to say thank you for following us. Subsequently, we'll be updating our story activities that will take place. But President Ouattara is now serving another term as President of the Republic of Liberia. So again, wherever you're following, we are live here at the Rabat International Airport at the Presidential Lounge, and His Excellency the President has just jetted in. And we're getting signals that His Excellency the President will be out in a moment from now, and he shall take a few words from pressmen that are here to welcome His Excellency. And as we're saying, today's event carried a sense of national. Today displayed a stability and sense of solidarity within the ECOWAS region, and the presence of several heads of state ranging from ECOWAS chair TrueLiberia to Ghanaian presidents and vice president, Gambian, Gabon, and Liberian leader highlighted the collective commitment to unity at a time when West Africa faces scrutiny threats, political transition, economic challenge. And you know, for many leaders that were present, including President Boakai, the inauguration itself offered more than ceremonial participation. It was an opportunity to reinforce diplomatic ties, hold bilateral discussions, and strengthen regional cooperations. As West Africa is working to navigate issues such as so most times it's not about what you bring. So you see, so I have to step in for our president is arriving up. Some questions were posed for him. So the president will have a word with the press.
All right, we have only two questions from two journalists. Number one. Mr. President, welcome. My name is Theophilus from Cool FM. You recently graced the occasion of the inauguration ceremony of Ivory Coast President, and you were among top African leaders in Ivory Coast. What message did you preach among your counterparts, sir?
Democracy reigns, and I'm very happy to be there to support Ouattara because of the multiple relations we have with him, long brother, and also security cooperation. And you know very well, even our electricity, Ouattara has been very supportive. So, as a neighbor, very good neighbor and part of the matter of the region.
Okay. Next.
Okay. Mr. President, my name is Lois Spibe and I'm host for Punch TV. What specific areas of cooperation did you and Mr. Ouattara discuss that Liberia can expect to see advance in the near future?
At that time, we just went to put him in a chair and to wish him we didn't have time to discuss, but we gave him our best wishes for future cooperation. As a matter of fact, I told you, he's a member of the Mana River Union, and soon we should be talking about meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Yes, that was the voice of His Excellency the President speaking to who's been there. So what he went to do to in Côte d'Ivoire was not to bring back something, merely just to celebrate and make sure His Excellency President Ouattara is well seated as he continues to lead the people of Côte d'Ivoire. And they have discussions, and the discussion are mainly felicitations and goodwill and unity, preaching among African leaders. So His Excellency, hopefully after a few while, may have further discussions with the President Boakai regarding some regional activities and development and ties. But he said, bulk of our current electricity passes through the outpost to Liberia, and so that's one issue that made Liberians very, very, very connected to others who share borders, and so that's important. So he was there with other African leaders, and that's a sign of unity, solidarity, economic togetherness, and oneness. And I think that's a stronger message as leaders of our West African bloc.
Yeah, you're right, Vani. And aside from the link that you name, our people continue to do cross-border trades. I believe that His Excellency's presence in that ceremony, at the inaugural ceremony, is also a reassurance to our people that they can go across the border and conduct business. And it's also to the Ivorians that they are also welcome to come across and conduct business. So in some, as you have said, His Excellency's presence at that ceremony was indeed a good one, and we are just glad that we have him back home. We are glad that His Excellency is back home.
So again, I want to say thank you. His Excellency is already in his vehicle and will be departing the airport for home, and keep following. Subsequently, we'll bring the activities needed tomorrow about activities of His Excellency. Thank you, and level closes from
Thank you for always following us. It is always a pleasure bringing you up to speed with the presidency. While the president does, where he goes, moves he makes, we always are elated to bring you up to speed. So from all of us at the Office of the Presidential Press Secretary, a department within a section within the Department of Public Affairs at the Ministry of State of Presidential Affairs, we want to say a pleasant good night to all of you. It's always our pleasure bringing you up to speed. Until we're live next time, until we have another announcement for you, it is yours in service. Bye bye for now.